A fruit seller has stocks of mangoes, bananas, and apple with at least one fruit of each type. Very clearly given to you. You can't take any of these values as zero. At the beginning of the day, the number of mangoes makes up to 40%, makes up 40% of his stock. So suppose the number of mangoes was M, the number of bananas to start with was B, and the number of apples was A. And this was 40% of the total fruit stock that we have. That day, he sells half of the mangoes. That means now he's left with M by 2 mangoes after he has sold M by 2 mangoes. He sells half of the mangoes. He sells 96 bananas. That means how many bananas are we left with? B minus of 96. This is the banana quantity that we are left with. And 40% of the apples have been sold. That means 0.6A is the apples that we are left with. This is the quantity that we are left with. That's what the question is talking about. At the end of the day, he ends up selling 50% of the fruits. What was the total number of fruits? M plus B plus A. Now he has sold 50% of all the fruits put together. So basically, what is the leftover quantity? Now it is telling you, it is saying that 50% is sold. So 50% of M plus B plus A is left over, which is effectively nothing but M by 2 plus B by 2 plus A by 2 as the total quantity is left over. I'm not saying A by 2 is left over. Leftover is 0.6A for apples. But total quantity, if I look at it, it is half of the total starting quantity. And hence it is M by 2 plus B by 2 plus A by 2. That is the quantity left over. And if we add these three values, we are again going to get the same value. And hence we can generate an equation from here that we say M by 2 plus B minus of 96 plus of 0.6A should be equals to M by 2 plus B by 2 plus A by 2. You will realize M by 2 will get cancelled out from the other side. You have B minus of 96 and you have a B by 2 over here. So let me write a B by 2. If it goes on the other side, it becomes B by 2 minus of 96. And A by 2 is 0.5. It goes on the other side. It becomes 0.1A to be equals to 0. That's the equation that we are now coming down to. If we evaluate this equation a little bit, we are going to get some sort of values from here. Let me look at this as B by 2 plus of A by 10 to be equals to 96, which is going to be 5B plus A is equals to 960. Now we are saying that 5B must be equals to 960 minus A. And B must be equals to 960 minus A by 5. So if you look at this, it is going to be 5 1s are 5, 5 9s are 45, 5 2s are 10, 192 minus of A by 5 is what we are getting over here. Now, what is the question talking about? It is saying that A, B, and M, all three values must be at least 1. Remember, we have not used one of these values where M is 40% of the total stock. That particular value has also not been used. So if M is 40%, then B and A put together is 60% of the total stock. So 0.6 times of the total stock is what the value that we are getting. Now A has to be what? You are looking at the smallest possible value of the total number of fruits. That means I'm going to try and look at the smallest possible value of A, B, and M together, right? So now if you look at the value of A can be 5 because A cannot be 0 and B has to be an integer. So A is 5. Now, if I take the value of A as 5, then my value of B turns out to be what? My value of B turns out to be 191. Now, if I look at 191 and 5, the total is turning out to be 196. This should be 0.6 times because it was 60% of the total stock. So I'll say 0.6 times of the total stock, which was T. So is 196 divisible by 6 or not? So 6 3s are 18 and 16. So it is not divisible. So the total stock will not turn out to be an integer if I take the value of A as 5, right? So then I will take the value of A as 10. If I take the value of A as 10, then what is going to be the value of B? It is going to be 190. So A plus B is going to be again 200. Instead of 196, you are now getting 200. Is 200 divisible by 6? No, it is not. So I'm going to take the value of A as 15. If I take the value of A as 15, then it is going to be 189. Now 189 plus 15 is 194, 204, 204. Is it 204, is it divisible by 6? 6 3s are 18, 24, 6 4s are 24, and 340. The total stock would then become 340 because I've equated 0.60 with 204. So the total stock is turning out to be 340. You will get the value of M over here, but they're not asking you that. They're asking you the lowest possible value of the fruits in the beginning of the day, and that's going to be 340 as the answer. If you further increase this value, and let's say you try to look at 20 and you look at 25 and 30, you will realize that the overall stock is going to continue to increase, and hence we want the lowest possible value, which is going to be 340. So the answer for this question is 340.